I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
Anyone claiming that America's economy is in decline is peddling fiction.
I've abandoned free market principles to save the free market system.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Raising the debt ceilings does not increase our debt. It does not somehow promote profligacy.
I know words. I have the best words. Nobody knows the system better than me, which is why I alone can fix it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Peddling Fiction Podcast. I am your host, the voice and soul of so-called fiction, Johnny Profita. And back with me after a long Easter break, almost choking to death, and out in the doghouse is Justin Hillbilly Boy Campbell.
Hell yeah. Did
I sum up your week correctly?
that was pretty accurate. We should really record the pre-show conversations, because that's where I tell my craziest shit. Like once we get to the show, I'm pretty tame. Like I tell you all the dumb, insane shit that's been going on in my life before we start, and then
and then I usually just kind of hint at it without giving away too many details.
you can do that as like a Substack subscriber special, like put out the weekly Justin's Insanity. Yeah.
Did you have a nice Easter overall?
It was really nice. I took my son down and we went and spent some time with my grandmother and hung out with my parents and my brother and sister-in-law and my nephew, and just it was nice. Met up with an old college buddy and took Sean out to eat. We all me and my brother and Sean went to lunch with him and regaled my son with all the stories of how none of the three of us should actually be alive based on all the insane shit we did. And as my brother and my buddy were sitting there talking about all this stuff, they're like, pretty crazy, huh? He said, well, Dad's told me the stories, but now it just like hearing the story from two other perspectives as well. He's like, y'all really should have been dead like a long time ago. I'm like, yeah, you know. I don't like these kids live such a sheltered life. I like my ex, she really tries to like pamper and baby and protect the kids and stuff. I'm like, shit, we were like setting up a slip and slide on a piece of plywood set over the top of a air conditioning unit outside the kitchen window with this dude's duplex, getting drunk and starting at the other end of the hall, running all the way through the house and diving out the window to slide across this thing out into the woods. Like, and then like, you don't want him to do really basic stuff that because they might get hurt. Like parents don't want their kids to play football. Fuck football. We were diving out of windows.
That was one of the most hillbilly things you've told me about in quite some time. And we don't call him Hillbilly Boy well for nothing, ladies and gentlemen. Slip and slide out the window on plywood. Yeah. Surprised there's not like there wasn't a goat at the end of it that you had to like jump over or something.
They were just on the edge of the city limits, so goats and other animals like that were kind of sketchy, unclear as to.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I did some stupid shit for sure when I was a kid, but nothing that rednecky. Nothing quite that rednecky, but yeah, it is. I mean, these kids today, man, it's like the biggest problem is that they're just like looking at screens too often.
When they don't take risks. They don't do anything that like, you know, like we did shit that was crazy and wild, but also it made memories, and also we learned a lot of stuff, and you figure out a lot of things. And
well, that's the thing. Maybe like they've seen so many people get hurt doing dumb shit on the internet. Like we didn't have that luxury.
Whatever. I've got
compound fractures and stuff.
I've got Jackass 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I need to find like a box set of the TV series. We had plenty of examples of how to get hurt doing dumb shit, and we took all of that as inspiration to go do even more dumb shit.
Yeah, but how old were you by the time Jackass came out, though? You're already like almost in college, right? High school?
I guess high school. I mean, my son's age.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it is the pussification of America. It's been going on for at least 25 years, not longer.
Yeah.
And did you ever read Adam Carolla's book, In 50 Years We'll All Be Chicks?
Adam Carolla was pretty spot on with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he was too generous with the 50 years. It only took about half that time.
I did read Dennis Leary's book, Why We Suck. And like a lot of it was like poking fun at Bush and stuff, but that was accurate and correct. And also a lot of the other stuff that Dennis Leary says in that book, like it really highlights how insane the left was at the time and kind of gives you a window into how insane they can get as time goes. It was Why We Suck I thought it was an excellent book.
Yeah, I never even heard of that one, but he definitely has some good material, some spot on material, and even just his rants from Demolition Man were great. Shit. Anyway, these kids today probably haven't even seen Demolition Man.
Demolition Man and Rescue Me, the firefighter show that he did. There was a bunch of really like not PC stuff in that.
You can't do that show anymore.
Which was Leary, poking fun at the woke progressivism that was going on at the time.
Yeah, and that was 20 years ago, right? That was like early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like highly like. If that was on TV today, people would have like fucking brain hemorrhages. I remember that one scene where they had like to have one of those like people come in and like talk about being more like more PC like in the workplace, and they just started rattling off like every slur that you could possibly imagine. It's fucking hilarious. We should probably try to find that and play it. Maybe that should be the intro.
As a matter of fact, I think I have that saved.
Oh man, yeah, that just. I mean, it's cartoon. I had to take so many of those stupid seminars back in my day. I could only imagine what it would be like to. What does that say? It's my Rolodex. Oh, yeah. No, it was no new material, but it was always refreshing to hear it and to watch the guy try to react to it. The PC police. It's pretty amazing what you used to be able to get away with compared to what you can now. Just the amount of pearl clutching that has been going on since 2000. Yeah, well, it's like maybe post Bush. Early 2000s. The 90s was the last greatest decade. It's been fucking downhill ever since. I think we have in today's episode, we'll have all the ammunition to back up that statement, I think. Mostly coming out of Chicago, but it's a microcosm. For the country as a whole. Are you still looking for that clip?
I didn't find the one from Rescue Me. I did find the one from Demolition Man. I thought I had both of them saved, and now I can't find the one from Rescue Me.
The Rescue Me one was epic. But we can move on. Maybe. What's the first thing on the docket here?
Oh, let's see. Since we were talking about, well, where did you grow? Did you grow up around Chicago, or did you just happen to move there?
I did. I grew up actually pretty close to Glenview, where that video of the people getting robbed at gunpoint in front of their house. Yeah,
I was
that
gonna say, we
like,
could just start
depending
right
on where it
in
is in Glenview, maybe like a 20-minute drive from where I grew up. That's a suburb, like a northwest suburb of Chicago.
Say we could just start right in with the Chicago stuff because we do have plenty of those on the docket for today.
All right, yeah, you got to cue up the music for that thing. Yeah.
Shithole Chicago.
Been a while. Tends to come in waves. Like one or two, and then a week or so of nothing, and then 30 videos all at once.
But the music keeps playing in shithole Chicago.
Yeah, so this is not the city of Chicago. It's what you would call the Chicagoland area. And this is Glenview, a relatively nice suburb. This would be a pretty rare occurrence back in the day. I don't know how much more common it's becoming, but this kind of shit did not happen in these neighborhoods for sure.
You got it. Sure, take it. Take everything. Take everything. Take everything. Take everything.
Yeah, so those just listening, this is I don't know, like an older couple that looks like they're out in front of their house. We're looking at some Ring doorbell footage, and two guys roll up on them, guns drawn. And I mean, these guys did their like, there's nothing you can do. Just take everything. Go ahead and take it. If you're lucky, that's all they do. Sometimes they put a fucking slug in you for the hell of it. But yeah, just some more. I'm sure if we just have a couple more after school programs for these future astronauts and engineers, that'll solve the problem. The fact that this is now, it seems to be spreading over the last maybe 2 years of this show. There was I don't know if you guys remember this one. There was an actual like gunfight. This one dude started shooting from his house. That was in a much nicer neighborhood than this. That was around like $20 million mansions on Lake Michigan. This is off the lake, inland, but still a relatively nice suburb of Chicago compared to the rest of the normal shithole Chicago we deal with here. But yeah, we've started to see it spreading. There's been car chases and carjackings and things like that happening in my old stomping grounds. Just it's starting to spread. It's starting to spread into the affluent areas. But I don't know where you got to go. Where you got to go to escape them. You might have to leave Illinois at this point.
Well, they've pillaged all their regular areas down to the bones, to the point that all the businesses have either closed shop and left, or have caged and like locked everything up where they can't get to anything. So you know, it's like pack animals when they're hunting. Once they run out of food in one spot, then they have to migrate to the next spot and start hunting there. They are just
and they go for the soft targets, right? So it's like, okay, yeah, now they can't. Now they have to break through the fucking cases and everything in these stores, because that was their solution to the oh yeah, sure, go ahead and steal $900 worth of shit and we don't care, it's fine. There's been massive fucking like riots and shit throughout the city of Chicago the last couple of weeks, just teenager just going on rampages. But yeah, now they're starting to flank out into the suburb. You just hit an old couple like walking into their house. Yeah, that's a very easy target. Those people have not been expecting it. They should be, in my humble opinion. But I don't understand how, like, I don't know, dude. Maybe I'm just like super paranoid, but like, I feel like my head's always on a swivel. I don't see how two guys like that are gonna get the jump on me. when I'm going into my house.
Right.
And also, I don't like where it's just like kind of weird. Like when you're out in front of maybe it's not their house. I don't know. Maybe they're going to somebody else's house. But like, it just seemed like a kind of a weird situation to find yourself in. But yeah, when I was even in those neighborhoods, I don't know how I would have handled that. I don't think they would have gotten the jump on me like that. I just don't understand how that happens. I'm just very aware of my surroundings all the time.
Well, the old, soft, affluent types don't expect that. Yeah. They think they sincerely believe probably that if they just had more after-school programs, these young men wouldn't have had to do such a thing. And like that they really are our future. We just need to give them everything that they ask for. Don't put up a fight. They need this so that they can, feed their families or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I'm sorry. We've oppressed them so much that they just now they have to go out into the suburbs.
Well, Chicago's problem is like, it's not going to get much better because this is your police force. Chicago police recruit busted with 8 grams of crack cocaine during a narcotic search training at the academy.
Yeah.
when your police recruits have crack, you know.
Dude, not like I didn't even read that. I just saw the headline. I was like, yep, that's perfect. That is perfect. Because it's like, so these are the recruits. First of all, they're doing crack cocaine regular enough to forget that it's in their pants. And just imagine the level of stupidity you have to like wear the same pants that you were smoking crack in the night before or something to the academy the next day. Like,
upon being confronted about the 8 baggies of crack found in his cargo pants pocket, the 24-year-old allegedly replied, "These aren't my pants."
I hate it when that happens. I put on somebody else's pants by mistake. Yeah. I swap, I swap clothes with crackheads all the time. These aren't my pants. Dude, it's wild, man. The level of incompetence is just it boggles my mind. You have 8 fucking balloons of crack in your pants. Like, how do you not even notice that? What else did he have in these pants? They're just like when I check my pocket, I gotta put my phone in there, my keys, a little wallet. It's like, oh yeah, that just push over the 8 fucking things of crack.
The story gets better. So they were just doing a training exercise, and they had some marked baggies that were to simulate heroin and stuff. And they were like, this dude just happened to get picked to be searched for a simulated search for the training. And the guy who was searching him actually did a thorough job, checked his pockets, and found
that is that's the funniest part of it. It's like, how did they catch him with this? Oh, they were they were practicing searches on each other, and this guy forgot that he had 8 things of fucking crack on him.
He said, "That's nothing, that's just garbage." And then when they continued to press him about it, he said, "These aren't my pants, they belong to my brother."
Oh, that's just like, take your brother down with you. Nice. Like his actual brother or just the brother?
Brother. stand up guy, that one. Just throw your brother under the bus in the
so now you can both go down. But don't they have like uniforms or something that they wear? The picture at least has them all on those cadet uniforms.
And maybe the class that they were doing, they didn't have to be in uniform for it. If it was just a classroom training type thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, oh Jesus, dude. Yeah.
I'm sure that is oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying we're getting the cream of the crop over there for Chicago PD.
Oh, and that's probably contributing to Mayor Johnson's outstanding approval ratings. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, whose approval rating has reportedly fallen to 7%, is facing projected budget deficits of up to $1.93 billion by 2027. The crazy thing is, like, what was the last one? Fucking Batman villain mayor Lori Lightfoot.
Lightfoot, yeah.
She was bad, and everybody knew she was bad, and everybody kind of turned against her. And then they picked this dude who, like, objectively was, of the two candidates that were at the two front runners, this dude was objectively the worst of the two, and
the most like Lori Lightfoot.
Yeah, and this is who Chicago picked. So, like, next time around, it's like, it's fine. He can have a 7% approval rating with a $2 billion budget deficit. Next time around, they're going to reelect him or elect somebody even worse. Like, Chicago.
You get what you fucking deserve. You get what you fucking deserve. I'm sorry. Like, that's to go from Lori Lightfoot to this buffoon is a staggeringly retarded decision. And it just goes to show you how stupid democracy is. Congratulations, you idiots. Congratulations. You found a worse candidate than the worst candidate we've ever had. And $2 billion budget deficit by 2027. I bet you it's there by the end of next year. 2027 is way too generous. It'll be $4 billion by then. Just idiots just running that fucking city into the ground. Running it into the ground. Sanctuary city. Yeah, have fun over there. They've been jacking up property tax. I mean, we played the clip. I'm not going to raise property taxes. That's like lazy. We're going to come up with solutions to this. Blah, 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 blah. Raises property taxes, raises excise taxes, liquor tax, all kinds of shit. Gap, not even close. Not even close. Still facing a $2 billion with a B shortfall by 2027. That's like the best case scenario for them.
And like the other guy that was running, he was obviously a progressive nutso too, but at least he was running on like the backing of the police union and trying to do something about the crime and stuff instead of
maybe cracking some skulls, right? Because now you're the worst of both worlds. You're letting the teachers union run amok. You're letting these hooligans run amok. So you've got no money, you've got no safety, you've got skyrocketing taxes, prices of everything are going up. And did we play on this show? There was like a fucking like a garden apartment that had like a fucking line around the block to go see it for like $2,500 a month. Was that on here? What was I looking at that? Well, anyway, yeah, there's just like these retards are lining up to go live in this city. I can't fathom it. It's just like people, they're way too fucking stupid to even run their own lives, let alone vote on how other people's lives should be run. Chicago is one of the most damning cases of how bad democracy is. I can't think of a better example. Retard, maybe California, I don't know. But like the city of Chicago, it's just corrupt to the fucking core. And then you just have like incompetence on top of that.
And it's like California at least has parts that are good. I feel like Illinois as a whole, and because Illinois is effectively run by Chicago, the whole thing just kind of like leaks out. That's why you get shit like this, or just 30% of Illinois fourth graders.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, Justin, they can't just be failing on every front, right? I mean, crime is up. Okay, yeah, I mean, that can happen sometimes. The budget deficit, okay, but at least we're getting something for all the money that they're spending, right? Like they have very good roads, the school system. I mean, the Department of Education, I know for a fact that all of those teachers really care about the students. They're not in it for the money. They just heart of gold, just care so much about the education of your children that at the very least, yes, okay, we're 2 billion in the hole, but at least your kids are getting a world-class education, no?
Just 30% of Illinois fourth graders read at proficiency standards.
30%. Illinois Republican, I don't know who that is, Dan Ugaste, speaking out against nationwide literacy crisis. Speaking against it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Maybe they're not very good with percentages. Do they think 30% is good? Is that up from like 20%?
It's actually down from just a few years ago. Okay. I did an episode of my show looking at reading proficiency rates for like high school students in like high school graduates in Atlanta, Chicago, New York. I'm trying to think. There was a couple others, but like, big cities. And like 40%, having a 40% literacy rate was about the standard, just like literally 3 years ago. And now it's even worse than that. This is Illinois counts itself amongst more than 40 states where just 1 out of every 3 fourth grade students are now meeting reading proficiency standards. 1 in 3 in over 40 states. Like, that's fucking insane.
But imagine how much worse it would be if we didn't have the Department of Education, Justin. Nobody would be able to read. It'd be 0%.
Well, when's Trump gonna? I know they've taken some big steps towards laying a lot of people off and trying to push the Department of Education stuff, do away with the federal side of the Department of Education and move it all towards the states, which is all well and good, except for like this past year, the state of Kentucky had a amendment to allow charter schools to have public funding from the Kentucky Department of Education, and it lost because people are fucking stupid, and they think that like if we allow public funding to go to charter schools, and that means that our public schools are going to disappear somehow. Okay, number one, good. They also were worried that was going to like take money away from their schools. It's like, okay, the state of Kentucky claims that it spends $18,000 per student per year. That's what they claim that they spend. Except that when you dig into the numbers, what you find is the state has a minimum threshold of $4,000 per student per year that they are required to pay to the school, to give to the schools. So what they do is they send the schools the minimum, except for the schools in like Lexington, Louisville, Frankfort, the big schools where all the politicians have their kids go to. Which are public schools, but they're the way that you get into those public schools, they may as well be private schools. Like all of the rich kids go to certain ones of those public schools. It's fucking insane when you really look into it. But so $4,000 goes to all of the schools for these students, and then the other $14,000 goes into the administrative apparatus and just disappears. This is why teachers don't get paid anything. This is why they don't have free lunches. This is why they don't have any of these things. This is why they don't have books, why they don't have like resources, because the administrative state for the Department of Education is where 2/3 of the money goes. So like, yeah.
I looked it up. I asked Grok while you were saying all that to see what Illinois spends per student. Based on 2025 data on K through 12 education, Illinois spends approximately $23,156 per pupil. This includes state, local, and federal funding, with total K through 12 spending reaching about $42.9 billion for roughly 1.85 million students. For post-secondary education, public colleges and universities spend around $33,997. Blah, 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 blah. These figures reflect a significant increase over time. A significant increase, Justin. Yet the reading score is still going down. Imagine that. Partly due to federal COVID relief funds and rising costs like pensions and infrastructure. For comparison, operational spending, excluding capital and debt, is reported at $17,952 per student in 2023, while Chicago public schools, wait for it, spend nearly $29,900 per pupil. 30 grand per kid to be an illiterate fucking jerk off running around the streets destroying buildings. That's what you're getting for your money, you fucking retards that still live in that city. Get out of there. The only way they're ever going to learn is if there's just a mass exodus. If you're still living there, you're complicit in this. And they're going to keep raping you, stealing your goddamn money, and churning out illiterate fucking criminals. Like, how could you possibly still support that city? Does it have any redeem? Oh, it's really nice in the summer. Yeah, for 2.5 months, you get some sunshine, and maybe you can get out on the water.
And if you're lucky, the Cubs don't suck.
Yeah, your baseball teams are shit. Your football team is shit. Your hockey team is past its glory days.
Hey,
you're getting fucking fleeced. Yeah, fake fucking ticket parking guys on your way to the baseball game. Like, you can't do anything in that city without getting raped. It's impossible. They're going to rape you somehow. So just leave. Take your fucking money with you. It's unbelievable how much people are just willing to put up with, and they talk themselves into it. It's like literally listening to abuse victims justify, like when their fucking husband beats the shit out of them. It's like, oh well, you know, I shouldn't have been standing there. It wasn't his fault. He was just really angry. Yeah. Oh, speaking of, I don't know if I sent you the follow-up on. I think I did, actually, because there's a bunch more. Speaking of retards, are we done with the shithole Chicago thing? Or no, we got more.
We can be done with shithole Chicago. I think there was only one more, but it was along the same lines as everything else has been, so it didn't necessarily add anything.
Yeah. So speaking of retards, there's a bunch of retarded Democrats that are on their way to El Salvador to join the first wave of retards that went out there to try to get this guy out of the El Salvadorian guy out of El Salvadorian prison. Yeah, alleged wife beater. Speaking of beating your wife, like the way it was reported initially, and I think I forget who had the initial reporting, and then like Fox News picked it up. But like closed fist beating of his wife. She filed like a bunch of she had like a restraining order or something that she was trying to file, and then she like pulled it back or something. Probably got intimidated by the rest of the gang members or something. Who knows? 13. But yeah, again, just this Maryland man, just an aw shucks kind of Maryland guy. Wrong place, wrong time. Got scooped up by the Trump Gestapo and sent to Maryland and sent to El Salvadorian prison. Or he was El Salvadorian, living in the U.S. illegally, beating his wife, and they sent him back to El Salvador.
Yeah, he was. So that's the whole crazy thing with this is they act like this was a Maryland citizen,
Maryland man. Maryland man is what all the fucking headlines read. Maryland man
deported to El Salvador illegally. It's like, well, he was El Salvadorian. He was here illegally, and he had already been tagged by ICE like a couple years ago to be deported. Like they just happened to get him now, and it was with whether or not he was MS-13. He was supposed to get deported anyway. So, like, why didn't the Biden administration ever get around to actually sending him back like they should have 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, dude, it's just I can't. they're so bad at like they're just so out of step with the American people. These ridiculous Democrats. They can't. I don't know. They thought this was a good idea. We're gonna go down to El Salvador and fight for this guy. This is, again, dude, their poster childs are always the worst fucking possible poster child. They had to jump all over this, and now it's like they're doubling down. It's like they're playing poker, and they got caught bluffing, and so now they're trying to buy the pot by like just doubling and tripling down. And with each fucking, the turn and then the river, like each card is just like another fucking nail in the coffin. It's like, oh, you were going for the flush, you missed the flush. Now you didn't get the straight. Now you're not even getting a fucking pair because this guy's he's El Salvadorian who is here illegally. Oh yeah, and he's a wife beater.
I found it. So the reason that they're saying that he was illegally sent to El Salvador is because a court had put a stay on him being deported because he would have faced danger from rival gangs. It's like, oh, he's not a gang member. He's just an upstanding Maryland man. Except
rival gangs,
right? Rival gangs. So he's not a gang member, but he would face possible danger from. And also, why is that a standard for not deporting somebody? Like, if you're a gangbanger in El Salvador and your deportation might result in you being endangered by the gangs that, the other gangs, well, that's on you. Like, poor life choices mean you might have to deal with some shit at some point down the road. And the beautiful thing about it, so the Supreme Court has told Trump that they have to try to facilitate getting him back. And Trump has basically said, no, we're not going to do that. And also, Bukele, the president of El Salvador, is like, nah, we're going to hold on to this guy. Like, we're going to keep him. Thanks, though.
Yeah, and it's just, dude, they come up with these like the worst case cartoonish scenario that can happen if Trump starts mass deportations of gang members. They're like, oh, well, he's going to start rounding up just regular Maryland men and maybe accidentally sending them to a prison. And so they get like wind of this. I don't know who reported on this the first time, but it must have just been some retarded lefty because they get the story 180 degrees wrong every single time. And if this is the best that they can do, this is like sky is falling on the deportation program because we rounded up a Maryland man and sent him to an El Salvadorian prison, except that none of that's really actually true. It wasn't an accident. He's from El Salvador. He's not even like Venezuelan or something. He's El Salvadorian. We sent him back to his own country. I'm sorry, dude. You're just not going to get sympathy on this. This was not the fucking hill to die on. They're going to die on it. They always pick, you can just count on them to pick the most retarded hill to die on.
Basically they're going to commit suicide on this hill. And this is the way they're going to do it. Like, look at this insane shit. This is the comparison that they're making.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, putting people who are here illegally, who are legitimately criminals, on planes back to their home country is the same as loading up the boxcars in Germany.
Yes, sending them to death camps.
Yeah, that's
allegedly. I mean, yeah, dude, it's just their worldview is just so warped. And yeah, I like we talked about on the other episodes, is like, yeah, they shouldn't have even given them the ammunition where it's like, yeah, they're going to go to prison in El Salvador. It's like, I don't give a shit what they do with them once they get there, but okay, go send them back to whatever country they're from and then let them try to fight that. It's just,
well, in the way that Bukele runs El Salvador, just like give him some heads up. Hey, like, we're sending them there. We're just sending them back. But what you do with them once they get there is all is entirely up to you. He would have he'd have cop cars waiting at the airport as soon as they start walking off the plane, just round them up and load them up. And then Trump's just deporting them. He's not sending them off to prison, right?
Yeah, he can get by on a technicality there. But again, I'm not going to lose any sleep over this. Deporting people who are in the country illegally. again, dude, like if you wanted to have this, like, oh, let's take it on a case by case basis. Well, then you can't let 30 million of them in a couple of years. You lose the opportunity for a case by case basis. Then it's like, okay, damage control. Here, not supposed to be here, gone. That's it.
And I know the borders thing is a big, like, touchy subject for a lot of libertarian types, but like you cannot argue that this hasn't objectively done significant damage the way that it's been handled over the last several years. Like, and I'm sorry, but by the nature of the beast that we have to deal with, one massive swing in one direction is going to result in an even bigger swing in the other direction. That's how the momentum of this stuff goes. And like, was there a better way to do it? Sure. But the last administration chose not to use that way. So now here we are. And like, does it suck for some people? Sure. But the way that our immigration stuff needs to be handled is not the way it has been. And probably not the way it currently is being. Yeah. There's somewhere but you've got to flesh all of this out and have before you can get to a point where something gets fixed.
Well, and the thing is, it's not just like a victimless crime anymore because of this entire apparatus that we've set up. U.S. citizens are getting raped, literally, physically, and financially because they have to support all this shit. All those people in shithole Chicago, remember them complaining because it was a sanctuary? So these people, like, they're infringing on other people's rights because the government can take money from one people and give it to these illegal immigrants for all of these programs, or even if there's not a program, just the logistics of dealing with them. So this is not like, oh, they're just here illegally. What's the big deal? Well, yeah, I guess if you don't have this massive bureaucracy that you have to fund in order to deal with it, sure, then it's not a big deal. But the second it starts hitting my fucking pocketbook and I have no control over it, what's the difference between that and robbery? It's like, okay, yes, the Venezuelan guy did not put a gun to your head. He used an intermediary to put a gun to your head and take your money and give it to him. It's one step fucking removed. So this is not just victimless shit at this point. And I think the American people have fucking had it, rightfully so. Most of them. They're still that's why it's so funny to watch Cory Booker pretend like he's some fucking hero going to El Salvador to save this guy. Yeah, that's going to score you a lot of points. And then if you just remember, like, back to just Trump's, not the State of the Union, but whatever, joint address of Congress, because he hadn't been in office long enough. But like, remember when they wouldn't just like stand and clap for like the kid that had like fucking cancer? They wouldn't even clap for this kid, like a little happy-go-lucky moment. Can't clap for him, but we're on the first fucking flight down to El Salvador to get this wife-beating gangbanger out of prison. And then what are they going to do with him? They're going to bring him back to the U.S. because he's from El Salvador.
Right. Like,
okay, yeah, just get him out of the El Salvadoran prison, keep him in El Salvador, and see how long he stays out of prison. I'm fine with that.
Right. And I mean, the whole idea was he couldn't be deported to El Salvador because then he would be in danger from rival gangs. But now he's in prison, so he doesn't have to worry about the rival gangs. I'm sure he can hook up with his own gang members in prison, and they'll protect each other, and it'll all be fine. See? We're doing him a favor.
Yeah. I remember on the last episode, I couldn't remember what the stay was for. And then, like, as soon as we wrapped, I was like, oh, yeah, it was because the gangs were going to come after him, allegedly.
The rival gangs. The rival gangs. This wasn't like some, peaceful family man that was running from the gang.
He like turned state's evidence or something.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah. He wasn't here. He wasn't here in like a witness protection program type of a thing. Like,
the left is so fucking inept at this point. They're so bad at politics. I don't know like how bad things would have to go for them to lose the midterms at this point. I saw people complaining. I sent it to you kind of like right before we started. because the Pope died. And I think it was like during this visit that they had, like JD Vance was like shaking his hand or something. He died like the next day or something. I forget exactly what happened. But anyway, JD Vance is in the fucking Sistine Chapel, and he took a picture, Justin. He took a photograph. Oh no. This is the new outrage. He disrespected the Sistine Chapel by taking pictures. Strictly prohibited, Justin.
Strictly prohibited. Oh my God.
And also incredibly disrespectful.
Yes, nobody's ever taken a picture inside the Sistine Chapel ever.
Yeah, go ahead and scroll down and look at the community notes on this one. It was fucking hilarious.
Only Bill Clinton, Michelle Obama, Anthony Blinken twice, multiple other Queen Elizabeth, Justin Trudeau.
Yeah, Mario Draghi, just to name a few. And by the way, I've been to the Sistine Chapel. It's really fucking overrated. And there were they say no photos. And there were millions of people taking fucking photos. And here's another photo. Yeah. Oh, it's so disrespectful. Unless, of course, the Pope gives you the blessing to do it. And then it's okay. It's like it's like, oh, they had permission to. If you read through these comments, just the retarded mental gymnastics that these lunatics are going through to try to get angry because he took a picture in the Sistine Chapel. It was an unauthorized picture. Ah! All of a sudden, they're very concerned about the Catholicism being disrespected. It's another great angle here. I've never heard them disrespect anybody of religion before. They're all so pious.
And worried about art, too. I mean, you're not. It's probably pictures are prohibited because of the flash photography type of stuff. Like, since when does the left care about art after they've spent how many years destroying like priceless artwork to protest oil and
climate change and oil?
Yeah. Now we care about art too.
It's amazing to watch them fucking flail about like this. They have if they would just wait. And I've been saying this, like Trump is going to fuck something up that's actually like, just wait for it to actually happen. Wait for the recession to be officially a recession. Don't like jump all over egg prices 2 days after he takes office. Don't jump all over them for taking pictures in the Sistine Chapel or texting people on Signal. I guess something happened with Hegseth again. I saw people calling for him to be fired. He texted some more people on Signal or whatever. It's like, yeah, just nobody cares. These are not problems. They're making it seem like the sky is falling. And this is like, yeah, Maryland man. Oh boy, we better fly down there and save that guy. And how dare you disrespect the Sistine Chapel? These are people, they've never shown more disdain for organized religion, particularly Catholicism. And all of a sudden, they're just fucking photography Nazis about the Sistine Chapel being disrespected. Dude, Justin, just do an image search for Sistine Chapel. If it's so illegal and just disrespectful to take pictures, how does anybody have a picture of it on the internet? By the way, colossal waste of time, highly overrated. And yes, I did not take a picture while I was there. They were very adamant about that. I honestly didn't think it was worth taking a picture. I'd seen a million other fucking churches with, shitty drawings on the ceiling. And the crowd to get in there, just, miserable. You're much better off going to St. Peter's Basilica right next door. Much more impressive.
And like when you're scrolling through those other ones, like those are big photo ops too. Like they're using like equipment and stuff. This was literally a cell phone picture. Like but they're making a big deal over that.
Right. I impeach him. Impeach him. Let's go. Come on. He took a picture, an unauthorized picture, and he disrespected the Sistine Chapel. All of a sudden, the atheist left is upset that the Sistine Chapel has been disrespected.
Well, and I had seen stuff about like this visit over the weekend, and there was something I didn't realize that the Pope had died. There was something about how the Pope sent like his second in command to meet with Vance. He didn't go to meet with Vance on his own, And then like literally the next day he died. It's like, yeah, maybe. And they like the left was like, oh, look how the Pope snubbed JD Vance. It's like, or the Pope was like dying. Yeah.
Or he was on death's door. Yeah, it's I mean, the next thing that I find absolutely another hilarious angle to this whole this has to do with the Department of Education and student loans and just the hypocrisy of these idiots. They're all up in arms that the Department of Education is going to start trying to collect on all of these delinquent student loans. Now, all of a sudden, I thought this Department of Education thing, we can't get rid of it. We need to have it. But the second they actually come to collect on the billions of dollars that are delinquent from all these retarded sociology degrees and humanities degrees, what else are they getting? Chicano studies. Like now they're starting to come to collect these things, and this is an attack on students. Well, it's the Department of Education, as far as I know, the ones that are trying to collect. Did I send you that?
Yeah, here we go.
Can you pull that up? Let's get some details here.
Student loans in default to be referred to debt collection, the Education Department says. The Education Department will begin collection next month on student loans that are in default, including the garnishing of wages for potentially millions of borrowers, officials said Monday. Currently, roughly 5.3 million borrowers are in default on their federal student loans. I wonder how many of those sat around and decided not to pay their student loans because they thought for sure Joe Biden was just going to forgive everything, and then they ended up getting fucked on that because he never had the authority to do that at all.
Yeah, I mean, I would have if I had a bunch of student loans. I wasn't going to pay them off. You're a sucker if you do. At this
Trump
point,
administration's announcement marks the end of a period of leniency that had begun during the COVID-19 pandemic. No federal student loans have been referred for collection since March of 2020, including those in default. Under Joe Biden, the Education Department tried multiple times to give broad forgiveness to student loans, only to be stopped by the courts. American taxpayers will no longer be forced to serve as collateral for irresponsible student loan policies, Secretary of Education Linda McMahon said.
Yeah, this is, I mean, they've had a 5-year break from paying these loans. So if you can kind of think about what's been going on economically over those 5 years, like how much of all this extra spending that you saw over the last 5 years was because instead of paying off their loans, they were going out to dinner or doing some other stupid shit, or just spending it on the bare necessities of life, but they didn't have to pay off these loans. So their financial situation didn't look as dire as it actually was. But now these chickens are coming home to roost. The prices of everything are going up. Their job numbers are not looking great. This is there was a lot being masked by the COVID relief that is starting to resurface. And it's not just because like I keep seeing all these posts like, oh my God, this is like, if we go into a recession, this is like the dumbest recession. It was totally avoidable. The economy was perfect right before this. It's like, yeah, that was perfect. It was so perfect that, these 5.3 million people paid off all of their student loans because the economy was just chugging along great. I mean, yeah, it's about time they start to fucking come and collect. It's bullshit for those people that did pay off their student loans. And it's bullshit for anybody else that didn't take on the loans, have to pay for all these people that got stupid. Like, by definition, you got a bad degree. You made a bad decision if you cannot pay off the debt that was required that you had to take on in order to obtain the degree. If the degree can't pay off the debt, dude, imagine you went to school for what, hopefully 4 years, but with these idiots, it's probably 6. But imagine not being able to pay off your debt in the amount of time that it took you to go into the debt. Like, so you went to college for 4 years, you graduated with a degree, 5 years later, and you can't pay it off. Does that sound like a good system to you? Does that sound like something we should be propping up with more money? More advocacy? It's insane. I just don't understand how anybody can even try to justify higher education at this point. 90% of it needs to go away. Like, and I'm not exaggerating. Doctors. Maybe that's it. Like, I don't even know. What else do you need like super high education for? For sure, the first 2 years of college is a complete fucking scam. You're just taking high school classes over again for 2 years. So you take on $100,000 worth of debt to retake high school because you didn't learn how to read in 4th grade. The whole thing's a fucking racket, but I just thought it was so funny, dude, that the people that were just all up in arms once again over the Department of Education possibly being closed down are now finding themselves at the wrong end of the Department of Education stick. I wonder what would happen to all these loans if they closed down the Department of Education. What would they have done? I don't know. I'm not sure, but what a dumb fucking idea. What a dumb idea it was to get a worthless liberal arts degree and spend 50, 60, 80, 100K doing that.
And that's the thing, like the things that a lot of these kids go to school for to get degrees in. It's like, what are you going to do with that? Like, yes, I understand. So my job requires a degree. And one of the guys that, so the other night shift guy, he has a degree in German. Like,
yeah.
What does German have to do with, like what we do as an industry or as a job? Literally nothing. I mean, I've got an ag degree. My degree doesn't have anything necessarily to do with what we do either, but it was an ag business management. So at least I have the business management, like just straight up a degree in German. How is that even a thing? Like, what?
The only thing you can do with a German degree is like teach German to the next group of people that want the degree, or you could be like a translator or something.
Right.
But how many translators do we need? Especially this, dude, everything's like AI is going to put all of this shit out of fucking business. They've already got those like headphones that translate shit for you. Like these are like, you can't read the writing on the wall.
Well, we have a ton of drivers that come in that don't speak English. They take their phone out, they talk to it, then they hold it to me. It speaks English to me, and then I talk to it, and then they hold it back, and it translates back to them.
It's like slightly inconvenient, but it's not impossible to operate.
Right.
It really isn't. I've been operating in Mexico on shitty Spanish for the last 5 years. It's fine. It's fine. And I probably took more Spanish. I took Spanish classes in fucking college because I had to. I had to do something. I was like, all right, I'll take another Spanish class. Worthless. It's worthless. But I needed the credit hours or whatever. Like, it's all just such fucking bullshit. All of those, every single one of those degrees. If you can just go to the library and read a book on it, no degree. Close down the department. It's absolutely ridiculous that anybody advocates for college this day and age. I can't believe it's taken this long for it to collapse either. Like, people will just keep paying these. What school were we looking at where it's like 60? Oh, it might have been during the, was that on one of the happy hours? I think we looked up the tuition at my alma mater, and it was like 2.5 times the price that I paid for it. The in-state tuition was like 2.5 times the out-of-state tuition that I paid. Yeah. Yeah. So now this is an attack on students because the people who loan them money are now trying to collect after giving them a 5-year break, dude. A 5-year break. Anybody that was responsible would have, well, you could have done two things. You could have continued to make your payments, even though you didn't have to. Or you could have taken that money over 5 years. And if you weren't a complete, I guess if you weren't a product of these government schools, education system, you could have invested it for the last 5 years. You had a crazy market rally. You could have taken your monthly payments and thrown them into the stock market, cashed out as soon as they had the blow off top when Trump got reelected. And you probably could have paid off all of your debt. But what did you do with it instead? What did you fucking idiots do with the money over the last 5 years? What did you do? Go to the bar on a fucking Saturday, watch some college football, cheer on your alma mater that's been just raping you it's going to rape you in perpetuity over these loans that you took out.
Florida vacation, you know.
I bet you they did. I bet you there was some vacays going on. I bet you there were, they're eating their fucking avocado toast, getting their cups of coffee from Starbucks.
Oh, did you see the thing where millennials are learning about they're doing in-home cafes, aka they're making their coffee at home. They found out it's cheaper to buy coffee and make it at home.
Can they have to come up with some like retarded euphemism for just doing everything that we've always done ourselves? In-home cafe. Like they have to rebrand it so that they can do like a TikTok video on it or something. Yeah, I make my coffee at home. Always have, always will. I don't like the idea of having to go walk somewhere for coffee in the morning. The whole point is I need my coffee to get started. The second I have to put on pants and walk outside, the day is on. I don't need coffee at that point. I need coffee to get to that point. I never understood that. Anyway, but I'm sure whatever they did over the last 5 years, and maybe they they might have just needed that money to sustain their everyday living. But in theory, a lot of them were making these payments before. And I heard that we had like such a great economy. It was like the strongest. Oh God, the great pioneers of Gen Z have discovered drinking coffee at home. Nobody had ever thought of this before. Remarkable. Gen Z lovers discover a new way to combat insane Java prices with new home cafe trend. Yeah. So I guess if you just if you set up like a little, what do they call those things? A little cart, a little coffee cart.
Yeah, just a little coffee bar.
Now it's an in-home cafe. All right. Yeah, I mean, you can make some pretty good fucking coffee at home. It's not hard. Believe it or not, those baristas at Starbucks did not go to college for that barista degree. They got some other worthless degree.
Acting degree, probably. Liberal arts.
Oh my God. Yeah. But you had 5 years. You had 5 years of. Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, 2021 to like 2022, there was a dip in the market. You could have bought that dip. Buy the fucking dip, just like the video says. Buy the fucking dip, you fucking idiot. And you could have ridden it for 3 years, just gotten insane returns. Remember when we were looking at those charts? And that whole thing, like all the way up, and then it comes down a little bit, and like this is where you start to panic. And that's where we are right now. You could have ridden that whole wave up. That whole fucking wave up. You could have just thrown it all into NVIDIA every month. Just buy NVIDIA, buy NVIDIA, buy NVIDIA. And then cashed out at the end of the year and put all that money towards your student loan debt. But what did you do? You started an in-home cafe.
I started like just perusing this article because I'd seen the Matt Walsh post. I just started perusing this article. Oh my God, it's even worse than you thought. I'm gonna have
the fact that it's even an article. This is like we're really scraping the fucking bottom of the barrel here.
I have put on or like put all of my my daily content for my show on hiatus for the past few months because we've had a lot of shit going on and haven't been doing a whole lot. I think I'm gonna have to bring it back just to talk about this article. Like, holy shit, these people are fucking nuts.
I just can't believe that somebody's like, oh, I got to write an article about this. They're making coffee at home.
Look,
is it more than 100 words?
These dipshits are basically putting a little coffee bar in their apartment and inviting their friends over, and then they're having menus and making pastries, and they're wearing little outfits to look like baristas. Like they're making it a whole fucking thing of just like making your coffee at home.
Don't they? Oh, I guess they don't have jobs to go to.
Right. That's probably
the economy is so strong. I figured, they got to make that coffee and then get out the door.
But it's like they're doing all this shit to save money. Like, how much money did you spend on your little barista outfit and all of your fancy doodad bullshit? And you're like, oh my, like, how much money did you really save? You probably could have just bought a fucking coffee shop.
That, but plus just like the amount of time and effort involved. It's a cup of coffee. Just drink it and move on.
Right. Make
all
your
this
coffee.
lollygagging. They're spending hours every day that they could be doing something productive to generate income to pay off their student loans. But no. We're going to sit around and fucking yak with our friends over pastries and coffee at our house. But this is, I mean, dude, that's what kind of passes for, like, nobody can afford to do anything anymore. It's all going to be at home. Instead of going to the bar, everybody just comes over. You set up your own in-home bar. There's a brilliant idea. Hey, if you guys don't want to pay $20 for a cocktail, have one at home. Have 6 at home. You can have 6 for the price of 1, and then maybe go out to the bar and have 1. But yeah, dude, this is dude, the amount of money that they've spent just like going out and doing things, or just the time spent trying to recreate that situation. Like, do something productive. I don't know, dude, coffee people are just people that are insane about coffee. It's the the sommelier equivalent of of a cafe. It's the people that just go crazy about wine. But at least they have, like, nobody who's a brokey goes crazy about wine. You've already like been successful and you just don't know what to do with all your success. So you take up this pretentious fucking hobby of buying overpriced wine and pretending you know what the fuck it tastes like.
Yeah,
these people are fucking broke asses.
It's always broke people that are like the big coffee connoisseurs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spend all their time sitting at the coffee shop on their laptop, typing out their blog, and it's like nobody gives a fuck. Get a job. Speaking of, I need to go make my cup of coffee and get on my way to my job here in a minute.
Oh yeah, we're way over time here. Is that everything for today?
The only thing we didn't talk about was the really funny clip of Elizabeth Warren trying to defend her defense of Joe Biden, which I think is good Friday fare anyway. Yeah,
we can save that for Friday. Suffice it to say, it's along the same lines of like just having a very low bar for like, this guy thought somebody went to school. I guarantee you that guy that wrote the coffee article has a degree in writing or something. And he's like, yeah, this is what constitutes an article. We'll hear what constitutes a competent president, according to Pocahontas, on Friday. Yeah, same goes for food. Yeah, dude, foodies. Well, my buddy was just telling me about this comedian who had like this theory about why everybody's a foodie now. It's because they can't afford to do anything else. It's like, even if you're a fucking broke ass, you can still go to dinner like once a month, and that can be like your identity. Taking pictures of the food and look at this menu, and this is my favorite chef. I followed this guy. So like, you can do that once a month, and that constitutes like a hobby. Whereas like back in my day and your day and our parent, like they would like be like working on an old car. Like, oh, I bought this 1967 Chevy. I'm going to put a new engine in it. It's like, oh, I saved up all month and I went to dinner. All right.
I got a boat sitting out there. The boy's been bugging the shit out of me for the past month. When are we going to start gutting this boat? You can start gutting the boat whenever you want. You don't have to have me to gut a boat. Like,
watch a YouTube video and get to work.
All right.
Bust out another 1,000. All right. Well, yeah, I guess we'll leave it there until Friday. Hope you all had a nice holiday weekend, getting back in the swing of things here. Oh, there's definitely some other funny Easter clips, I guess, of Trump at the White House with the Easter Bunny. Maybe we'll play some of that on Friday. Forgot about it. Easily one of the funniest people on the planet, though. I don't understand all the hate. Don't understand all the hate. But we'll be back on Friday. Until then, you guys know what to do. Just keep on peddling that so-called fiction. Peace.